What's going on, everybody? I'm the Bourbon Sipper, and today we are having a first taste of this bottle from the Southern Collective Spirit Company, and it is called French Toast. So I was watching a video the other day on YouTube, of course, and it was from the ABC couple. I'll put a link to their video like right around here. And needless to say, I was having a few sips that night while watching a lot of bourbon YouTube, and it led to this purchase. It sounded delicious. They didn't purchase it, but I thought for something different, this would be nice. And actually, after that night of ordering it, I went online and I looked up the company. This was when I was, feeling fine. Looked up the company, and honestly, there's not a whole lot about them out there, which is kind of interesting. They have a nice little website, but they don't give you a whole lot of details on what every drink actually is. Tasting notes, aromas, anything like that. They just kind of tell you that it's just basically the name of it, whether it's a rye, a straight bourbon, whatever. And that's pretty much it. So I'm very interested to see what this tastes like, because I actually couldn't find a whole lot, many reviews from other YouTubers on their bottles. So we're gonna see how this is. I'm hoping it's delicious. Nice little cork pop. Ooh, that's actually a rubber cork. Interesting. Rubber cork, not your normal cork. So I'm already getting some little aromas from it. It smells really good. So go over this one. This is called French Toast. I already said that, but it is actually a rye. It's a single barrel straight rye whiskey finished in maple cask. So maple cask is usually what gets me. I enjoy drinks that are finished in maple. Just one of those little hints that I like. We're sitting at 103.8 proof with 51.9% alcohol. This is bottle number 12 of 152. And one thing I did notice on their website was that their bottles are kind of limited releases. They don't have a lot. They don't have a lot of bottles that are actually, like, at least from what I could gather anyway, that are over 200 bottles. A lot of them that I found were, their website ranged from 10 bottles of this one flavor to, I think the highest I saw was like 207 or 210. And honestly, it was just anywhere between that was some of their numbers. So apparently these are, I don't know if they're sought after by many people, but I thought this would be kind of interesting since I, didn't really see a whole lot about them after I bought it. But another thing, this was aged at least 5 years, and it is distilled in Indiana. So, and that's another thing. They don't give you a whole lot of information about what all is in their bottles, which I kind of like. It gives a nice little, mystery to what you're actually drinking. As long as it tastes good, I'm happy with that. So, yeah, we're going to see what this is all about. And yeah, actually, what's that? I just saw this. It's actually signed by Miss Trisha on the bottom. So, which I believe, looking on the website, Miss Trisha was one of the people that, one of the main people that worked there. So, Miss Trisha, if you're watching this, hopefully it's good. Let's see what we can smell first off on the nose. Definitely get it. That's actually a really strong hint of maple coming straight off the nose, which is funny because I have a bottle of Widow Jane Decadence, and which is finished in maple syrup barrels, and I hardly get any maple from that. I don't know if it's the batch or what, but that one in particular, I don't know. It's a 2023 batch, so hard to tell. If you have one of them, let me know what you guys think about it. But definitely, first things first, strong hint of maple. What's the next thing we get up here? Some little bit of maple, not a whole lot. A little bit of oak, not too much. Just it's actually a very light hint of oak is what I smell on this one. I feel like there's a little bit of baking spices somewhere in there. It's not a cinnamon, like direct cinnamon, but you definitely have some of the baking spice aroma coming off of this. It's not cinnamon straight cinnamon on the nose. It Doesn't smell too spicy. But let's go ahead and dive into this and see what we think. So 104 proof, it drinks like 104 proof. You get that initial little oomph when it hits your mouth. It's kind of it's almost a little bit of a lawn finish, but it's very subtle. It's not a whole lot of, not a whole lot of heat going down. I kind of would describe it as a sweet heat on the way down. I actually get more maple on the nose than I do on the palate, which is very different. Which is different. Usually, if you can smell it that well, it's gonna usually hit your palate pretty quickly. But this is also the first drink I've had all day too, so it may take a few sips for that one to kind of come in into play. I don't know. So one other thing about this bottle is that it was $100. So it's not a very cheap whiskey bourbon if you to not know very much about it, and to be, I guess I should say, for maybe a smaller company. I don't want to say that they're a small company, but I had never heard of them before I purchased this, and honestly, there's really not much out there about them, which is just crazy with how many different bottles they've released. But after shipping, this came out to $126, I think, to have it with shipping. And I'll provide a link down below if you guys want to check this out in the description, if you want to buy it. And I'll also have a link to their website in the description, Southern Collective. That way you guys can just kind of maybe read up a little bit about what they do and that kind of stuff. You know, if you guys want to read up about their story, go for it. But overall, it's not a bad sip for the first sip. I would say let's dive in for a second one and see what we think about that. It's always the second sip that gets me. Okay. All right, there's the maple. I got the maple on that one. It's almost like a pancake. It's not even French toast. It's like a pancake taste on that second sip. And yeah, it's exactly what I would kind of describe that as. It almost tastes like you're dipping your pancake in a little bit of syrup, and you just take a little bite of it. And it's nice and warm, kind of going down. It's kind of reminds you almost a little bit of breakfast, but it's not overly. I would not describe this as overly sweet for being finished in a maple cask. It does smell delicious. It just smells delicious. The aroma, I think I kind of have to give it like a 9 out of 10 to be 100% honest. It does smell good. You get the maple right off the nose, and it doesn't smell too hot. I know sometimes the rye can just smell off the nose too hot, and this one does not. It smells good, and it drinks smooth. So we're going ahead and get to the nitty gritty. Basically finish this off with a couple more sips. Number one would be the price point. Is this worth $100? I would probably say no for my palate, and I understand that it is a limited bottle numbered. And you know, sometimes on the smaller batches, you have to charge a little bit more money. I completely understand that. Just the way of the game, just the name of the game. To make your profits, gotta charge more. And with 152 bottles, I can kind of see where this comes in at a $100 price point. I'm not gonna lie. I would feel more comfortable paying in the $60 to $70 range for this rather than 100. Now, if you wanted something different that you haven't had before, I would say spend the $100 and buy it. Just because you can, it's different. It's not. I can't really describe how it is, but it's not really like any of the other brands I've had before. It kind of just has its own thing going on, which is really nice because I feel like when you are like Four Roses or you know, Maker's Mark, any of them, you kind of end up having the same old thing, but just a slight variation on each, you know, each different selection that you have. So, you know, if you wanted to give it a try, I would say go ahead and do it for the $100 if you have the money available. If I was to recommend it just to say that you should try it, don't buy it for the $100 if you don't have that money to spare. So that's that. Now we're going to get down to the aroma and the palate. So aroma, I would have to give this guy on a scale of like 1 to 10, probably an 8. The maple comes through really well, and it doesn't smell too hot, and it doesn't drink too hot either. So that's really nice. Now, you know, ryes drink a little bit hotter in my opinion, or spicier, I guess would be the word, than your normal bourbon. We're going to move into the palate. The palate, I would say, is probably a strong 7, more than likely. I don't know if I could really give it an 8. There's kind of, on the last couple sips I had, it almost came out as like a little bit of a cherry note in there, I think is what I was tasting. And it's more on the finish than anything, but it almost leaves a little bit of bitterness at the end of it. And if you're just kind of, you know, like waiting for it to settle down, it's not over, and you know, it doesn't take away too much from the whole little pancake experience that I had a minute ago. It doesn't take away from that. It's just something, you know, I feel like a lot of bourbons have a little bit of bitterness somewhere, and that's where you're gonna find it in this. So, and I'm, you know, if it's not, if Miss Trisha can tell me that I'm not tasting cherry on this, please let me know. I would love to know a little bit more about this and what all you guys, um, and what all is in this bottle, to be 100% honest. But I think overall, it's a good bottle, and this price is just a little high in my opinion to rate it better. If it was in that 60 to 7 range, I could definitely see it, but it's not. So I would that's just where I kind of have to be. And an overall rating for the bottle itself, taking everything into account, would probably be a 7.5. It would probably be an 8.5 if it was cheaper. And now, granted, it might get better the deeper I go into the bottle, so we'll see. But that's kind of where I'm at on this one at the moment. So thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're not a subscriber yet, subscribe for more videos. And recommend something in the comments if you would like me to test it out. Or if I have it, I might leave a review of it. So thank you guys for watching. Until next time, cheers.